All right, our first real section in this is adding and subtracting fractions. So if we had 4/5 and we wanted to add it to 1/6, we would do the same thing that we did up here. We start with our biggest number, start writing multiples of it until this other denominator will go into it. So 6, 12, 18, none of those 5 will go into those yet, okay? 24, 30, boom. That's the number that 5 will go into. So I have to get both of these denominators to 30. So I know that if I times 5 by 6, it'll get to 30. So I do the same thing to the top because, once again, I am manipulating the numbers. I am not changing the value. Once I actually multiply that and I get 24 out of 30, it would reduce back down to my original number. And that needs to be able to happen because I'm not changing the value. I'm just manipulating the numbers. So over here, I have to get this bottom number to 30 as well. So if I times 5 by 6, I would times 6 by 5. Do the same thing to the top. I am adding 5/30ths. So now that I have that common denominator, I know that's going to be the number of pieces still that I would need to make a whole over here. So that doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the number of pieces that I have. If I take 24 pieces and I add 5 of them to that, I now have 29 pieces. So that shouldn't change the size of piece, okay? Now, when we're working with an improper fraction, which I'm going to show you over here, so 2/6 minus 2 2/9. I want to do the same thing with the denominators, but I do want to get rid of this first, okay? One thing you could do is you can separate it and take away your whole numbers. I'm going to keep them together and I'm just going to make an improper fraction. So 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So I have 13/6 right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 2 is 20. So I have 29ths and I am subtracting. So I want to find my multiple that both of these will go into. I start with 9 because it's my biggest one. So 9, 18, 27. Oh, 18. I see that 6 will go into 18 as well. So I can times this by 2 to get it to 18, and so I times the top by 2, and I times 6 by 3 to get it to 18. So I times the top by 3. So now 13 times 3 is 39. 6 times 3 is 18. I subtract 40/18 from it, and then that's going to give me my answer. I know it's 18 because that's the size of piece I have, and then I have 39 minus 40. So if you have $39 at the cash register and it costs 40, you are short, and if ever you're short any money, you are in the negatives, so you are short $1 is kind of how I think about that. A lot of people think about it differently, but you could think about it on a number line, like you're all the way over here at 39. If you're taking away 40, then you're going to go back and you're going to hit 0 after 39 of them, and then you still have to go back one more, and that's going to give you to that -1. However you want to look at that. Some people notice, okay, I have 39 positives, I have 40 negatives, I have one more negative than I do positive, so my answer is that -1. Number of different ways to think about positive and negative numbers. Whichever one works best for you, I would say go with that. I have about 4 questions that I'm going to ask you before we continue on with the next section.